And it's on. I posted yesterday's video. I don't know if it should have finished. It usually finishes and publishes it all in one shot.
Yeah, I watched it last night. Yep.
Okay. Now this is that pound CAD trade on the 4 hour, the wedge, and you see where my entrance was here,
Yep.
right on this little black candle. Let me blow this up a little bit, and that's the alarm to turn on the recorder. Am I right? Okay, maybe not. But um, where was it? Oh, so this was the trade. And at the time I took the trade, everything set up the way I like to see it. I had a close below. I had my, I don't know if I had a retest or not at that point, but I did have a close below, and I had a trend line break on the RSI. Ooh. Um, so I took uh, a shot at this on the assumption I was going to get like that third candle here. Because there was only two candles. Two candles broke the triangle. Usually you'll get a third candle. Doesn't always happen, but that's why I took the aggressive entry. Had this been 5 or 6 candles deep before it broke the trend line, then I would have waited for a retest. But
Hmm.
since this was only the second candle, I figured I'd jump on board now.
Yep.
And it went not immediately against me, but the next few 4 hour candles took a hard turn. Between the two trades, I'm down 132, which is well inside my 500 pip limit. My stop is not hit, so I'm going to stay in this, and we'll see if it comes back through the other side. That's pretty much it for that. The Chef Yen, let's go back to that one. The Chef Yen is a daily trade, and this was my re-entry on that daily here, and I posted that the other day. And my target is down here, just about midway of the wick on this candle. I got all this type in the way.
Yeah.
Let me get this out of here. You see right in here, these
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
candles. That's my prospective stop loss, so we'll see what happens with that. And that's about 20 pips. On these daily and sometimes weekly candles, as we've seen already, it can sometimes take 3, 4, 5 days for this thing to unfold.
Yeah. You need a lot of
Um,
patience.
yeah, but there have been other days where the very next day you're in the money.
Yeah.
That just hasn't happened with the particular trades that we took.
Yeah.
And I took the ones that were the best looking at the moment.
Hmm.
And I didn't move my pending orders down to follow price because I would prefer to do that with everybody in the room. It doesn't uh, sit right. You come back and there's a whole bunch of new orders in. You don't know how they happen, why they happen. So I try not to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I can get rid of this. I don't need this. I saved the picture. Salute.
Thank you.
Any questions on yesterday's stuff that we did?
Um, I I was in that pound Kiwi trade, and
Pound New Zealand.
yeah,
Let me pull that up. Uh, and I need my glasses because I don't. Pound New Zealand. Pound, 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 pound. I thought we did this yesterday. Pound New Zealand. Am I just blind or is it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
You're on it now. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was that? A
that was that big old wedge that I drew. You drew a smaller one, but
um,
if you go down to like the 1 hour, you can kind of see what happened. Is it actually went down like, oh my gosh, it was almost 200 pips in profit. That big old tall candle.
oh, this news candle here,
Yeah.
right at the
And
00. Yeah.
the high of that. Oh, what was the high on your chart there?
Oh, well, I'll do it this way. the high on this candle was 23.4275.
23. Okay. Well, my stop was at 45, and on my Owanda demo, the price that candle only reached 10, but it still hit my stop.
Oh, so
Before
the spread must have been enormous.
Yeah. It was the rollover time.
Oh,
So, but the trade ended up a total 20 pips. Let me see, two positions. It ended up 10 pips in profit overall.
were you long or short? I don't remember.
I was short.
Oh, so it's this wick right here.
Yeah, on a break of the triangle.
Okay, got it.
But on Owanda, that meant that the high was 10, so the spread had to be close to 40 when that happened.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
that's not an ECN account either. So the high was only 10 on that candle, whereas on FXCM it was 23. So that's where a lot of the spread difference is between ECN and just a standard account.
Okay.
Anyway, so it was real close to making at least another 100 pips or something, but oops.
I just have to write to someone.
Yeah, I hope you're going to write to Oprah because she'll care just about as much as anybody else. Yeah. Anyway, so that was one of the deals. I stayed up all night pounding holes in the wall, stuff like that. I'm just kidding.
Don't think I'd have been short on that pair myself, but there you go.
Also, I took another Kiwi yen trade, so New Zealand yen, on a pullback to the top of a price trap on the daily. It was a perfect pullback, but it never went back up. It just went down near my stop.
These things happen.
Yeah. But I only had an 18 pip stop either, so it's whatever.
Okay, he won't bother me now the rest of the morning. So this wick just in this wick alone, we had 150 pips.
Yeah, that was close to 200 on my chart, anyways. But had I missed the stop, I had a trailing stop set in, so I would have pulled another 100 pips out of it besides the 65 I took earlier.
Okay. Right. It ended up being a small winner. Am I correct?
Yeah.
The overall assessment. All right, that's good.
Yeah.
So I just want to run down and see if there are any other trades. See if we can move some of these up a bit. Let's start with what's the first one on the list is the pound dollar.
Pound odd. Oh yeah, pound dollar. Sorry.
No, I'm just doing this list down here.
Right.
And daily, so that's gone already. That looks like that's. I'm not in a pound dollar trade. Why are these lines here?
Well, your entry hasn't been triggered yet, has it?
Oh no, it hasn't. Right, I have a buy stop there at this, so I don't have to touch that. That looks like that might just pop in.
Yeah.
All right, so Euro Chef. Well, that broke out the other day, but we missed it completely. But as far as the daily candle is concerned, we have a rising 21. Our only pending order would be up here. Now let me get real close to this. Where are my glasses? And we can move this to here, which I don't think is going to trigger, but I'm going to put it there anyway. Euro Chef is 1.0675 is what I'm going to do. All right, Euro Chef modify 1.0675, 1.0. 675. Oh, whoa. I don't want to delete it. What did I do here?
that you can use to knock other players off of the
Modify.
you have to, jump between them like a platform game. And then once you score, you get these little seeds you can use to move up your team or provide some other bonus.
Why wouldn't it let me modify this? One
Have you been
point.
triggered? Have you been triggered on that one or not? I can't see properly. But...
No, I'm not triggered on this,
Oh, right. Okay.
but I'm trying to modify it, and I don't see.
Primary objective, like I said, is to
Hmm.
capture balls.
Maybe because I have this order in yet. That's stop loss.
Weapon and try to knock them into oblivion.
That's a sell stop. Oh, this is old. This is from. So I just need to delete this then, and then
Yeah,
start
you
from
need to go through
scratch.
it.
Yeah, this is very old. All right, so delete. Okay, and that was Euro Chef. All right, so new order, instant execution pending, and a buy stop at 1.0675. 1.0675.
Once you capture, you get a little
Okay, excellent. That's in.
Okay, so why there?
I have a rising 21.
Yeah.
You follow me? This is today's candle, and we didn't trigger a trade off of yesterday's candle, so that could still be a valid entry. This may come down a bit and then come back up through it. You follow me?
Yeah.
Or if it doesn't, you can drop it down, drop your entry down tomorrow, can't you?
Exactly, yep. All right, let's look at Euro Yen.
Further down.
Working with too many brokers. Here we have another situation. We could do a buy stop here on Euro Yen. So I'm going to delete this old order.
Couple of spinning tops there.
Yep. Delete. Those are the ones I kind of like. And we'll put our buy stop at 136,950. Okay, so buy stop 136,950. Enter pending. Buy stop is 136.950.
Got a wedge trade on that pair as well, haven't you?
Yeah, right here, a little bitty wedge, or an even larger one here.
Yeah, there's a couple of options for a wedge there.
Yep. And now let's go to Euro Yen. Oh no, that was Euro Yen. We did Euro Chef, Euro USD. What did I miss here? Let me go back to Euro Dollar. I must have skipped one.
Yeah, that's probably the one you missed.
Yeah, Euro Dollar. So Euro Dollar, we can go right here. We're above the 21, and that's 1.98. This is going to be 11. 1.11. Okay. So Euro Yen. Let's no, Euro Dollar.
Next one up.
Yeah. Delete.
Yeah.
And then Euro Dollar. Instant execution. Pending. Buy stop is what do I say? 1.11, right? Yep.
111. Yeah.
Okay, so 1.1100. Okay, good. We're good there. And I think we did all of these right now, right?
I think so.
Nothing's triggered. Buy stop. Okay. All right, we're good there.
What about your stops, Lou? You going to put some stops in?
I think I had an issue with the stops the other day. Let me just see if this will give it to me this time. Okay. So I'm going to put an initial 50 pip stop if it takes it. This broker did something weird on me the other day. Wouldn't let me. 51 pips. Yeah, see, for some reason, I guess because the order's not triggered,
Nope, there it goes. It up.
did that the other day. So,
Yeah, you can put your stop loss in on the ticket though, can't you?
yeah, I could. I just
Yeah,
hate all that fucking typing. Yep,
yeah,
to be honest with you.
yeah.
Let me just bring this down to 50. That's 60 pips. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, and that's 1.10013. It's my stop. All right. So, where are we? Euro dollar. Modifying. Stop loss. 1.110013. Oh, that should be a
No,
3.
that can't be right.
Why? Oh, 13 it should be. Right? Wasn't that it? 13?
I remember you saying 13, yeah, but it's not 1.11, is it? It's 1.10. Have you got that? Yeah.
All right, let me see what I did. 50. Okay, 1.0025 is easy to remember. 1.10025. All right. And again, it won't let me modify it. Modify. All right, maybe it was the wrong number. 1.11.
No,
No.
1.10. That's why I wouldn't let you do it.
Wow, yeah. Because after you're trying to put the stop in the same place that your entry.
Oh, okay. So 1.1.
1.0.
Oh, one. No. You need a 0 after the first one.
Oh, okay. This is why I copy and pasted to a Word doc.
Do you?
You're right. I'm drinking from the
No,
from
you're wrong there, Darius. 1.1025 you said, Lou, didn't you?
Yeah, 1.1025.
Which would be about a 75 pip stop.
No, it should be a 50 pip stop.
Oh,
No, that's 75.
Is it?
If take 75 from 100, what do you get?
Yeah, sure is. And I
yeah.
wanted this to be a 50, but now I think I can just slide it up, I hope.
Okay, so there must be contrails making us all stupid today, huh?
All right.
That's how
Now
you do
it's
it anyway.
okay. It's the other reason why I usually do this when it's quiet, because I get all kerfumptered with these numbers sometimes. And let me bring this down. 37. It's about 53. Come on. I'll go right there. Let me round that off to 136, 140. All right. 136.140. And why didn't it modify? 136. What am I missing? 136. Oh, it's not giving me the pips though. I want like 50. I can't see the damn number now.
Oh, you have the window open yet?
136 dot. What did I say? 136.075 is looks like 55 pips. 136.075. Let's try this. 136.075. And it still won't let me modify. 136.07. What the hell is going on here? 136. That's the stop loss number. A buy stop.
That's only a 4-pip stop.
These candles are covering Let me slide this over and
Yeah,
do
why don't
this
you
this
put a
way.
4-pip stop in?
Well, am I reading these? I just did this. I know I'm reading the numbers right. That's minus 52.8 pips from where I am at the moment. Am I not
Oh,
seeing that the right way?
uh, why is there two green lines?
Yeah,
One is the this is my buy stop.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
And then I drag this down, and as I drag it down, if you notice where my arrow is, it tells me how many pips away I am.
yeah, yeah.
So when I
That's
go back up here, there should be about 50 pips.
but that says it's another buy stop.
No, I'm looking at how many pips away it is,
Oh, okay, okay,
and using it
Yeah,
as a guide, then taking that
yeah,
number and dropping it in my
yeah.
okay. Yeah, so you want 14 is the number, 13614.
yeah 136.14.
Yeah.
So get rid of that, get rid of this, and now do this again on euro yen. Modify or delete 136.14. Why is this doing this to me? I've done this like a million damn times, and now it's acting up. Maybe it was because I had that other window open. But that's a 50 pip stop there. Then we need to put one in on Euro Chef. Yeah, maybe I need to let this go and not do it. That's 23. Yeah, 50 is way down here on this pair. And that's 1.05777. That's easy enough to remember. 1.05777, and that's Euro Chef. Modify or delete.
It looks more than 50 to me, but perhaps I'm not seeing it properly. But
All right, well, we'll see in a minute.
yeah,
And it's in. And let's see. Euro Chef may not have a lot of movement. That's 80. Okay. You're right. I don't know why move it up to 50. I'll take it. It's close enough. All right, we're good.
gonna have to employ an apprentice to do all this for you, Lou.
Yeah, I usually do this when it's like quiet and I can sit because I know I cross the numbers up and that's why I copy and paste them on a Word doc like I showed you a couple of days ago.
I used to know a trader who actually employed somebody to actually do that. He just called out the trades and he put them in.
Yeah, I can see that. Some people have that fear of pulling
Yeah,
the trigger, and
yeah.
that would certainly do it. All right, so we have a new set of orders in. Let's see if any of these kick in. And I should put in. Well, I'll do that later. I'll come back and put in 50 pip take profits on all of these. Usually, if I have a larger lot size, if this was zero point 0.2 lots, then I'd put in a 50 pip take profit, and if I'm around, I try to split it at that 50. Um, I found another account that I had, forgot I had it open with a little over $900 in it. Haven't seen it or touched it in almost 3 years.
Right.
Yeah, so that's found money that I can experiment with now.
Yes. And
Also, real bad bookkeeping if that you find it 3 years later.
yes, well, listen, you need a personal assistant for sure.
Well, you know what happened?
You have a couple daughters, right? So there you go.
Yeah, I opened up like a whole bunch of $1,000 accounts on different brokers. I was comparing them against each other and all that. The ones I didn't like, I closed it, took the money, moved it over to the ones I did like, and on my other computer yesterday, looking for something, um, I saw a broker I hadn't opened up in a long time. Opened it up, and I got a $940 live account on it.
You're lucky none of them have gone bust on you, like Alpari, for example.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, it was the one of the Australian accounts.
I'm still trying to
So,
get my money back from Alpari now.
oh boy, yeah, Alpari was a mess, but they're still running in the UK, right?
No, no, they're closed in the UK. They're running elsewhere, but in the UK they're closed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think they're still running out of somewhere dubious like Russia, but I
Mm,
certainly wouldn't have an account there.
yeah, I hear you. Well, we had an account with a Russian broker a long, long time ago. It was something with Broco,
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah,
I
remember
remember.
Broco?
Yeah.
So a group of us opened up a live account with the purpose of we're going to try this experiment, and if we make any money, we'll split it because it was a Russian account and we could do all the hedging and all that. We opened the account, but when we did, the owner of the company still hadn't had all of his bookkeeping set up right, so we ended up wiring the money to his personal bank account.
Ooh.
We took a shot, and sure enough, he honored it. He opened up the account and everything, and we did what we did for 90 days, made some money, nothing to retire on, but we split it all up as we said we were going to, and just walked away from the broker. We wanted to see if our setup would work, which it
You
did.
know, I used to use them only for demo stuff for practice. I was doing something else with some special.
We liked them because I think at the time they were the first MT4 broker that had gold, oil, um, the S&P, and a few other things, some different things that we wanted to trade, but they weren't on the American Ameritrades. Oh, look at pound yen.
All green.
Every chart, the what do you call it, is above the 18. I think this
Yeah,
is set to 18, right?
yeah.
Let's go
Yeah,
back
the
and take a
pound
look
yen
at
is
pound yen.
a rocket today.
What was that?
Pound yen is a rocket today.
Um, let's take a look. Pound yen, pound yen. I need to put these all together. There's a couple of brilliant little things that Mike Schumann suggested. That I need to put all the pounds together, all the Aussies together, all the other ones together. Um, so
Anybody
let's
else
just
doing
see.
basket trading?
Yeah, what moving average is this? This is 21. I'll leave it for now, but we're above it on the daily. Can't put a pending order in. See, this is yesterday's candle.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Um, and we're above it on the 4 hour, and we are above it on the 1 hour. Oh, here's a turnaround coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's make this RSI 2. Um, oh yeah, this is definitely going to turn. I need to set this to 90 and 10. Come on, cooperate with me, will you? Okay, indicator list. Just got to go do it. Um, levels. Ba, ba, ba. Okay, so when this cracks back below here, we should have a decent short setup. To catch the early part of the pullback.
What's it look like in the
2,
15?
3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go to the 15. It should be above the moving average also. Sure is. You see we got breaks in the 15. Let's go down to the 5. That's above. And go down to the 1. And that's above. So with the pound having that much strength, I'm thinking that this wedge is going to oh no, it may not stop out. Because if we're that far oversold here, yeah, this might come back. We just need to wait for this to pop through here. And what was it? The daily we had that.
Yeah, daily you're looking at, yeah.
Okay, and then we saw that 14, that 8 bar run. I think it was on the 4 hour. No, 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour has that 8 bar run with the RSI overbought. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on also.
Yeah, we have FOMC today too.
Yeah, a lot of little candles. Wow. This is that bar I was talking about yesterday. It's the first one. Little wick on the top, little wick on the bottom, and price just continued. The momentum continued. This is the same thing I talked about yesterday. Same kind of bar, no wick on the top, but it's the fourth one.
Yeah.
Do you follow me? So it's that location again.
Exhaustion candle, yeah.
So now I wanted to go back to the fractal thing we were doing yesterday. I think that was the last thing we did, and we didn't really complete it.
Yeah, that was the last thing.
Yeah, and I have a name. I came up with a name last night for that. Those pin bars. Yeah, like this pin bar that closes closer to its high than it did to the middle.
Yeah.
Slingshot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it just came to me because one of the toys I promised myself next year is a slingshot.
Oh. I've heard that phrase before in trading. I think with Woody's CCI, I think he talks about a slingshot.
Okay.
I've never used it, but I've heard it talked about.
Yeah, but that's because what it's like is like you're pulling back a slingshot and then letting it go, and price keeps going in that direction.
Yeah.
So I like that. So I'm going to call it a slingshot. Now let me just see if I can find that template we were working with yesterday.
The slingshot for the hammers, is that what you're talking about?
Right, for those bars that close closer to its high than to its center, like this one, this white bar here. See that it closed closer to its low than it did to the center?
Mm-hmm.
That's a slingshot. It's like you pull the rubber bands or the whatever back all the way and then let it go. And so the next candle should move, or next bit of price action should move in that direction.
Yeah.
So I'm good with that. Slingshot will work. And a slingshot is a motorcycle. Well, in New York, it's legally a motorcycle, but it's a interesting driving machine.
That's the one.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to go over this again from the beginning, and it's a 3 time frame situation. And I think who was it posted that indicated to me?
Yeah, me, Lou.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the all averages where you can put 3 different averages on one chart.
Yeah, you can just have your M5 chart open and have an M15 18 and an M30 18. But you make a good point. Not everybody might be using MT4, and if they're using Sierra charts or Ninja, those kind of indies may not be available. So
yeah.
That's
why I try to stick with.
So it's better to do it like you're doing it, really. Yeah.
So as we look at this particular chart, we don't have an actual setup. We're kind of in no man's land here.
Yeah.
Because this candle is crossing here. Okay. Now we're above on the 5, but we need to be clearly above on the M30 and the M15.
Yeah.
So for this pair we don't have anything, and I'll go over the rules again. And I have an indicator that lets me drag into one chart and it changes all 3. I just don't know where that is at the moment. It's buried in that 9 terabytes of stuff.
Yeah.
Also, I took a bit of my profits and I went hunting on eBay and other places for other systems or anything, because I always try to see what's new and try to, put some money back into it. So if you hear of anything out there or some new super indicator or a new trading system or something, let me know. And if it looks like it has a little bit of sense in it, I'll buy it and then, pick it apart. Okay, so here we have a potential trade setting up, but we have to wait for this M30 candle to close. Yeah. What was that?
You said, yeah, you've got to wait for the candle to close.
Yeah, once this M30 closes, then we have a shot at this. However, on the 5, we're already below our fractal point here.
Yeah.
You see that? So we may have to wait for a pullback, and then now once we have this set up, since we're below the fractal, we can use any other regular method of getting into this that we like, because we know we're lined up properly.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the dollar yen. And we're doing this on the 5-minute chart. And same thing, we're waiting for this 30-minute candle to close. Okay. And we're below here. On the close, we will be. Salute. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And we've already broken our fractal low here.
Yeah.
Now remember, this fractal shows up at the open of this inverted hammer. This fractal shows up when this candle opens. So we could have had an aggressive entry here. You follow me? At the low of that candle.
Yeah.
And then the more moderate entry would obviously be at the bottom of the candle here, which we may still get depending on where this closes.
Yeah.
CAD yen.
On the 15-minute?
What was that?
On the 15-minute UJ.
15-minute UJ. Wait, let me go back to it. Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, right here you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand this a little bit better. So the lower fractal on the 15-minute chart.
Okay, wait, let me give you control. So
Okay.
And that's
It's Phil.
Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, keyboard. All right, you got it, Phil.
I mean, it looks like this close under was in unison with this one, and I'm sure we had a close in the 5-minute also. So with this one, would it just been like a loss?
I'm not sure.
Because I don't know if I'm quite understanding the system right. Because basically we're waiting until all three charts have a close below the MA, correct?
Correct. Now, what happens is, let's say we want the two higher ones to have a close below the MA. But let's say that the shorter time frame is not below the MA at the moment. Then we wait until the shorter time frame gets below the MA. And ideally, if there's a fractal in there, we can take a break of that fractal for our short trade.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Maybe I'll start over with the rules from the beginning again. What we like to see. Let me just see if I see something setting up. Let me do it that way. Pound dollar should be good because everything was long. All right. So here's a good example. Pound dollar. We're above on the 15. We are above our moving average. Oh, I know what I meant to remind you guys. Yeah, we're above on the moving average on the 18. So now our entry into this trade, and this is setting up just right. The aggressive entry would be at the high of this candle body, where that fractal is. That would be an aggressive entry. At the high of this candle body, once the fractal is in. All right, now this is dipping below, so we still don't have a trade, and the only logical trade we would take would be a break on that candle body high or the candle wick high. You got me? If the trade goes quite a distance and still doesn't give us much of an entry, but if prices get back above the 18 again, then we could use other methods for getting into this trade. We can use a trend line break, that sort of thing. Does that make sense, Phil?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. Ideally, we want to be trading in the direction of the two higher time frames. So in this case, we have the 30 and the 15, and we're above our moving average in both cases. So then we go down to the 5, and we want a fractal break on the 5 in the direction of the 30 and the 15. And this is setting up to show you both entries, the aggressive entry, which is a break above the fractal candle body, and the moderate entry, which is a break above the actual fractal high itself.
So when the 30 and the 15-minute we're below the MA.
right here and right
Yeah.
here.
Exactly.
We'd be
Those,
looking,
we'd be looking short,
yes.
and we probably would have hit like a stop loss on one of those, correct?
That's possible, yeah.
Alright.
All right. Now here we just had a fresh close, and we now have a fresh fractal because you notice at the open of this candle, that's when this fractal shows up.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can have an aggressive entry at the top of this candle body. You see that? Or at the top of the fractal high, if price
On the
comes back
shortest
above
time
it.
frame.
Say that again, Phil?
I said on the shortest time frame then.
Yeah, correct.
Alright.
On the
Yeah.
shortest time frame.
Yeah, good. Thanks.
Let me just see if I have my getting set in here. That would
Lou,
make a
you
little
made
bit. What was that?
Lou, you made a note in the room yesterday to say that you were going to tell us something about which MA works best with which time frame or which system or something.
Yes. Let me just see if I have my guppies here. Let me just look at another broker here. I just want to see if I have, I should have guppies on one of these. Yeah. So why won't it open? Oh, this FXCM. Son of a bitch. I don't have it open anywhere. Why is it not opening? This is frustrating. And it won't close either. That's funny. That's the demo. Oh, it's the live account that's not acting right. I just need to get some guppies up here for a second, and I hate wasting session time on that. Oh, let me see if I have dots in here. All right, let's try this. New chart, Euro Chef, and let's put the dots up here. Okay, and this has to go to like a 15-minute chart, and this doesn't have the guppies in it. Shit. All right, I'm gonna have to do this a long way. Let's open this up, and we'll go to a 1-hour chart. Now this is an 18. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a I'll explain it. Trend, moving average, and I'm going to put a 17 on here. All right. I can barely see that. I should it should be every 2. That's my mistake. Insert. What you're going to do? Let me explain it first. Is you're going to put a 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11 moving average, and you can do this all the way up 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 up to about 21. All right, and you're going to have all these moving averages stacked here. And what you're going to look for, I got to get a guppy up here. Hang on a second. And what you're going to look for is you're going to look for those areas where price comes down and just tags that moving average and pulls away. And you want to see which moving average it does that the most on. All right. Let's go back here. Indicators, trend. Let's put moving average. Let me see. Let me put like a 34 on this. All right. We can go a little bit farther. But here's an example of what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3 taps on this 34. You got a little bit of a fake out on the 34 there. And I hate to, I should set this up and do it tomorrow. You see
Lou,
the
look in
third,
the room. Phil's just sent you a Guppy template.
oh, good. Okay, cool. Is this the long and the short, Guppy, Phil?
That one's only got the 35711 on it, but I can send you a one with a longer time or a longer MAs too.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so now let me, let's pull this out of the way so I can grab this stuff out of here. And there we go. Copy. Let's go back here. Yeah, because I want you to see this. Open data folder, templates. Paste. Oh, I've got the templates in here. All right, so close this and refresh so I don't have to open the broker again. File, new chart, euro, what is that? Pound dollar, I'll use it. And here, let's see, dots, guppies. 50, here we go. Okay, this is that dots method. Now, as you can see, we've got a series of moving averages on this chart, right? And what you're looking for is which one of these moving averages do we get like a hit and run? And which one does it the most often? So we're going to do a quick and dirty analysis on this just for argument's sake at the moment. And what I can see here is, I would say, in this case, the 40. Again, the 40. Again, the 40. All right. And if I follow this all down, we got a whole bunch of wicks down here at the 40. All right. So in this case, if I'm trying to tweak something on pound dollar, again, this is a very short sample of stuff. I would say the 40 moving average might be the way to go. So let's go. Let's go here. BW clean, and now I'm going to put a 40 moving average on it. All right. 40.
That's momentum you got there, Lou.
It did that thing again. Yeah, you remember it did that the other day. I don't know why this is let's go down here, moving average, and then go 40. All right, now if you look at this, turn this damn thing off, and you look at that, you look at the taps at the 40. So if I wanted to do something and use pullbacks on a 1 hour chart, on a 15-minute chart in this case, let's say, it should be a 1 hour chart. I'll go back to the 15 because it makes it simpler to explain for the moment. I could realistically say that the 40 moving average on a 1 hour would be a really, really good moving average to use for pullback situations, because it pulls back to the 40, just taps it and keeps going. You see that?
Yeah, that works pretty good.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, and again, that was just a quick and dirty. We didn't really get into the real minutia. But once you have that for that particular moving average, you can build a lot of other stuff off of that and use that as your go-to moving average if you wanted to do pullbacks, or if you wanted to do the daily stuff. So even with the dailies, if it pulls back, we come to this. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, so this is where we are, and I'm looking over here now. All right, and I'll hit F12 and go to the next candle. Okay, F12, F12. Now you see I have a pullback right to the 40, and historically it'll hit the 40 and then bounce and keep going. So I could put a pending order right above there. Let's just put a line up here for the moment. Okay, then F12, then I'm triggered in the trade and I'm in profit. All right. All right. Just by using that concept that the 40 on this particular pair on this particular time frame seems to be the moving average you'd want to use. All right. So you could certainly fine tune it by doing that, and you'll see it'll be subtle differences between the different pairs. But it's a way you can, fine tune a pair, particularly if you want to do like things like some of the exotic pairs. It really helps a lot to help you lock in. So if we were here and we came down and here, we know historically this thing will bounce off the 40. Well, then right in here, we would have had a couple of decent trades, putting our pending orders right above these highs. All right, it's a very simple technique. And let me throw the guppy up here.
Lou, presumably though, in a week's time, it may be a different MA, yeah, on the same pair.
Not necessarily. I would go more quarterly than weekly.
Oh, quarterly. Okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason being is you get one whole cycle of news events. You get one whole cycle of company reports. You get one whole cycle of the banks. The central banks is what the term I was looking for. And then sometimes they may change the speed of the market depending on what the central banks and all that do. So I would look at it more as quarterly.
Okay.
So every 3 or 4 months I would double check it just to see. All right. Let's pick a different pair and do the same thing. Let's get this off. Delete. And what was the name of that? It was a guppy, right?
Guppy dots, I think you said, didn't you?
No, I just loaded the indicator in here and I don't see it now. Let me do this. Refresh. Grid. Okay, so where's the guppy?
Didn't you do the dots thing?
I put it. Oh, I put it in the templates. No, I'm looking for the wrong thing. It should be in the templates. Guppy MA. There we go. Now this is these are all faster MAs, obviously. Yeah. And I prefer a combination of the fast and the long term. All right, because then what it will give you is a decent buy sell zone, and I'll show you a decent a buy sell zone. Indicators, trend, moving average. What the hell?
Market. Oh my God. That is one crap broker.
And that's a broker I was going to put some live money with too, because I can do a lot of stuff with them. All right,
they can do a lot of stuff with you too.
What's that?
They can do a lot of stuff with you too.
It appears that way, doesn't it?
Were you trying to throw some other MAs on?
I just wanted to put the 40 on just to show you the buy and sell zone sort of thing. Okay, file, new chart. Let's pick dollar yen, and let me go to the template. Black and white clean, and then add the guppy MA. And now I want to add the, no, I'll do it this way this time. Moving average and 40. All right, so I'll take this general, turn this off. I'll take this general area here. Now the 40 is the one we picked for another pair, but we pretty much see 40 might not be the one for the yen. Okay, we got one touch. This may be a little bit faster than 40 maybe for the yen. But what I want to show you, let's pick an area where it half-ass works. I'm going to take this longer moving average, the 11, and now I'm going to delete these others. I'm going to delete the 7. I'll delete this, and I'll delete this. So now what I have is a short-term place for bounces with the 11, and a long-term place, and this maybe a 34 might be better for this. Let's try it. Yeah, 34 is better. So you see that how the 34 brought it right up underneath these bottoms here? Like you're not going to catch every one, but you see how almost all of these tapped the 34 and went back.
Mm-hmm.
So now I've got a short-term bounce here on the 11 and a longer-term bounce on the 34. Anytime prices get in between the 11 and 34, that's basically a no man's land until we touch the 34.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's for like pure price action traders. It's stuff that they do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, here we have the bounce off the 34, but we don't have very much in here. But you'll notice that we get a lot of price action. You see how it's hugging that 11? Even with these candles that close below, they're still all hugging the 11. And this 11 may be a little bit better as a 13. And you tweak it a bit. See, 13 looks better. Okay. So now if I get a bounce off the 13, I know that's my short term. If I get a bounce off the 34, I know that's going to be a little bit longer term move if I get in it. Okay. So what you do is you apply a series of guppies, every other guppy, generally up to, I think it's 21, and then they skip to 34 for some reason. And then in the small guppies, they usually use odd numbers. In the large guppies, they usually use even numbers. And don't exactly know why, but it's a way you can fine tune which moving averages would give you the best look at bounces and retraces. And that's how you would fine tune it. You want to get the most number of bounces off of the long term and off of the shorter term moving average. All right. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anybody want to try it on a different pair? Okay, don't everybody yell at one time.
I mean, just if I can play devil's advocate.
Yes, please.
It kind of smacks a little bit of curve fitting.
Well, that's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want. You want to curve fit this to this moving average, to this pair.
To this particular pair for like
Right.
a 3-month period. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And now curve fitting for developing EAs and stuff is always the most dangerous thing you could do.
Yeah.
But again, and again, we're not looking for perfection.
Perfection. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see, like this was a wick, and this never made a wick, and this came through and went back, but
Yeah.
it all happened right at that 40
Yeah.
or 34 in this case, I think
34,
it was.
yeah.
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 Hey, you got me? Same thing
Yeah.
here with the 13.
Yeah.
Not looking for perfection, but you're looking for a high repeat rate of the same occurrence.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm getting at. So if I'm looking at a dollar yen 1 hour, then I could say a 34 and a 13 might give me a pretty decent look at the market, and not a bad cross either, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, if we took this, you look at that cross there for 34 and 13, then you look at this one up here for 34 and 13. You didn't do too bad. Now obviously with any moving average cross system, when you get in here, you get chopped the hell up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But when it comes out of it, again, you do pretty well.
You can get your money back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or you learn to avoid the chop by kind of spotting it ahead of time.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So, and again, 34-13 cross here. And, it's on a 1 hour chart. So, and again, that would fit ideally for this. And what many people do is they'll say, wow, this is really great. And they'll apply the same moving averages to every pair and then get their head handed to them because it doesn't play out the exact same way.
Yeah, well, the ATR is different on every pair, isn't it? So
right, absolutely. You have a different ATR on top of everything else. All right, so that's a way to fine-tune moving averages to a particular pair that I happen to like.
Wow, I never knew that before.
Yeah, and you can even do it with whole moving averages or least square moving averages.
Yeah.
Or any of those variations. But again, you may not have those on other brokers.
Yeah.
So by using the regular SMAs and EMAs, you get a pretty good look at the market.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
go
that's
back.
very, very Raggy Horner, isn't it? That 34 moving average.
Well, yeah, she did the 34 open, high and low, I think it was,
That's
and
it.
made
Yep,
those
that's it. Yep,
bands.
that's it. Yep.
And she had the Raggi candles. I can't think of what the name of it was, but
They're called grab candles, Lou.
grab candles. Yeah, green
Green,
and
green, red, and
red.
brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what would happen is,
High, low, and close. Yeah. That's
yeah, and if candles closed above the top band, they'd be one color.
maybe
Like
green.
everything above the top band would be red, but the pullbacks would be a lighter red, meaning that it's still long, but we're pulling back in the long market. And then
Yeah.
in the
She
short,
simplified it a bit in recent times. Everything above the line would be green. Everything between the lines would be brown, and everything below the line would be red.
okay. Yeah, in the version I saw, if it went below the lines, it was red, but any pullback in the red was a lighter red
Hmm.
to indicate that we're still short, but these are pullback candles until we
Yeah.
get back into that no trade zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could touch on that also because I have all of that stuff and all the videos and all that went
I used
along
to
with it.
trade with it. I'm not sure why I stopped with it. It used to work quite well.
Yeah, you know what happens? You get I don't want to say bored, but you find a system that works, but something somehow doesn't click with your psychology with it,
No, I think
or click with your gut.
sometimes also with the market, things work at a certain period in time in the market, and they don't always work at another period of time in the market.
Yeah, well, that's the danger with a lot of EAs. Sometimes people will
Yeah.
design an EA and it'll work fantastic as long as the pound dollar is trading like the pound dollar.
Yeah.
But these markets are cyclical because for a
Yeah.
short time, the pound dollar may start to trade like the euro pound, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden
Exactly.
the EA is blown out of the water.
Yeah.
That's why I've never trusted any EA that doesn't take ATR into account.
I've never used an EA in my life, and I can't believe I ever would. But you never know.
Yeah, well, I used the one I built with Rob, the breakout one for the news, and that's been just
Yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah.
But it's basically like a script. You set it up to do one thing, and when that one thing is done, it turns off.
Yeah.
While the EA is going 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, well, I won't get into that. I've got some EA stuff that I'm working on, but I'll save that for another conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get the idea here. You put a bunch of guppies on a chart and see which one gives you the most taps at a specific line, and then you go to a smaller moving average and see which one gives you the most taps at the smaller moving average. All right? And then that can be your basis for doing a great number of things. And it's a very simple way to understand the speed of the market and to understand the pair you're working at.
Yeah.
And as I said, every 3 months I go back and just double check it again, just to make sure that I don't need to tweak.
Yeah.
All right. Now with my 1889, I find that how I use the moving averages, not so much the numbers, but how I use them is what's important.
Mm.
And the 18 seems to be universal. It'll be better on some pairs and not so hot on others, but they all the same.
Mhm.
But all the pairs tend to behave the same way when price approaches the 18.
Yeah.
You got me? So, and again, it's more the how I use it rather than the actual number.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's good. So we covered that. I wanted to make sure that got in here today. Now where were we? We were doing the
You're doing the fractals.
yeah, let me go back to that. Yeah, we were scanning the charts. Okay, here we are. Thank you for that, Phil, for posting that indicator.
Yeah, no problem.
Any questions on that? I deleted the wrong one. What is this? 18. So let me put it back on. Make this an 18. So now what we're going to do is go out to a higher time frame on this with the same premise. I think we had a 5-minute entry. Um, 30-minute. This 30-minute is still not. And these are. Oh, we got different charts here. That's what's going on.
Yeah. That's
And this
definitely
should
not
be.
going to work.
Yeah. Uh,
Hey Lou, we're watching here. So
yeah, I see that. This should be New Zealand dollar here.
He's just testing you, Daryl.
All right. So we don't have much. We don't have much going on here because we're below on both of our higher time frames, but we're still above on the lower time frame.
Yeah.
So now what we're waiting for is a close below here, waiting for prices to get below this and possibly make a fractal. Okay, and then we're going to trade that fractal low or breakout or whatever. Let's take a look at Euro Aussie.
Could you use 1, 5, and 15 as well, Lou?
Oh, I was just going to touch on that when I said we go out to higher time frames. I prefer to use them in blocks of 3 like this.
Yeah.
So 1, 5, and 15, or
Yeah.
5, 15, 30
Yeah.
in blocks of 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what we'll do now is we'll go to, let's say, a 30, H1, and H4.
Right. Okay.
All right, so let's make this a 30. Wait a minute. 30. And this will be our H1. And this will be our H4. Okay, 30. So now we're going to enter on the 30-minute time frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so 30-minute is short. Hopefully, I'd like to see the H4 is not ready yet. The H4 needs to close short, and the H1 needs to close short. So when both of these close short, now I'm looking for a fractal break. We're already below this fractal, so
Yeah.
we'll need to see a new one, or we can use whatever other method where we would like to use to get into this trade.
Yeah.
You follow me? But ideally, I'd like to see a fractal because that'll give us a couple of different entry points. So this would go on the watch list then, and we're really waiting for the 4-hour close because this could come all the way back up and, be anything, a hammer or a spinning top or whatever. So you can't really go by that so much. So let's go back to, let's go to another pair. Let's go to New Zealand dollar again using these parameters. And this works pretty well. It's much, much more of a patience-based system. Again, nothing here. We're below, we're touching, and we're above. So these guys need to get in sync. So there's nothing there to trade. Let's take a look at euro dollar.
last night I heard that Alexander Elder is actually Russian, so I wonder what his real name is.
Alexander Eldakap. He's Russian. I don't know. That's more German than anything else. So here's a good situation here. We're below on the H1. Again, we need the H4 to close. But if this H4 were closed, then we'd have a couple of entry spots. One at the bottom, the bottom part of the candle body. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Or a break of this high, a low rather, right here. Okay? And you see the slingshot candle. Price went back the other way.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for. So this could go on your watch list also. All right, that's not bad at all. Let's take a look at pound yen. Oh, we did that earlier. Yeah, because everything was flying on the pound yen. Let's take a look at euro pound. All right. Ooh. Euro pound looks good. Now we didn't have. Yeah. Oh, here's a good example. Our entry candle is a 30, but we didn't have a trade here. Let me just see. Let me just set this up. Let me see if I can get this to work right today. We go here. And that is the set. Okay. And now let me go here for the get. All right. Let's see if this worked right. 9 No. Oh, I think I put them both on the same chart. Shit.
If you did.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. Okay, delete. Okay, so I want to put the get up here. Okay, and put the set down here. Now let's see if this is working right. Okay, here we go. Okay, excellent. All right. So, and I'll put the get over here also. Get cross. I think I goofed up. The bottom two are working. All right, we'll just go with those for the moment. Let's go back a little ways. Let's go back a little more. And here we had a close below here. So then we'd be looking on the 30 for a fractal breakdown here, which actually we didn't get any. We didn't get one there. We didn't get one there. We didn't get one there. So we wouldn't have triggered into any of these trades. Okay.
Aggressive entry.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if we slide up to here, now we're looking for a short situation. We've closed below on the H4. And now here's an example of we're below here on the H4, but as you can see, we don't really have anything in here as far as fractals until here. But we can use our pullback since we know the directions now. All right. Until we get a fractal, this would be a nice way of using pullbacks into that moving average to enter in the direction of the higher time frame fractal until we get a fractal here. And this would have been our first fractal trade here or here, because this fractal appeared at the open of this candle. All right, and this marks when this fractal formed. So here we would have our entry here. And it took a while, and we would have been triggered into this trade right here. And again, euro pounds 28 pips, but $15 a pip. That's not bad. All right. Let me just delete this because it wasn't quite set up right, but it's a handy tool. Okay, and delete this.
Have you ever done it on the smallest time frames, Lou? The say the 1, 5, and 15?
Yes, I have. Let's just set it up.
Does it work as well or not as well?
The only thing I don't like about the 1 is that the stop losses in relation to the to your risk on this particular system can be a bit much.
Right. Okay.
That's the only issue that I don't like about it, and I never stuck with it long enough to develop a longer term way of going about it. I like it better on the longer term because at the time when I came across this, I was still working. So I'd come home and I'd be kind of whipped,
Yeah.
So we're euro pound for 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. So again, here's our trigger short. And if you got a strong trend, you're good. Remember that quadrant when you put your mouse across the moving average, and you'd like to see about 230 or so on that slope. All right, so these actually would have produced some pretty nice trades. We're below on all 3 time frames, so this is our entry time frame here. So now we're looking at this close. I'm sorry, a trigger like 1 tick below this low. Yeah. This one is gone already. We can't take that one. Yeah. So 1 tick below that low would be our next trade.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a guy on Forex Mentor that teaches this, but he makes it a lot more complicated than you're showing right here, and plus it costs money.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Frank Paul is his name. I mean, he's a good guy. He's a smart guy. In fact, he's probably too smart.
But, yeah, what's his name again?
Frank Paul.
Frank Paul. I'll go look for him. You said it's on Forex Factory?
Forex Mentor.
Forex Mentor. Oh, that group of guys. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always charge you. Yeah. Well, not I won't say an arm and a leg, but it's
I'm
and
Moses, and I'll lead you to the promised land.
yeah, I've got a bunch of their videos, and they really do waste a lot of time with
The one that's
minutia, I
got the
guess.
best stuff is Vic Noble. And
Yeah, I heard of him.
he's a pretty good guy, and he's got a couple of trades. One's called the Noble entry, and one's called the Vic entry. But they're both actually really good. So, anyways, never mind.
Yeah, I have his stuff also.
Oh,
Vic
do you?
Noble. Yeah, and the thing with that woman Shirley, the London.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
only
I went
part
through
of that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I went through that myself, and it was, it's quite a task because you're trading during like the go take a nap time after the London or near the London close, and so sometimes you can get in a trade and you're trying to get 10 pips, and it might take 3 hours.
Yeah, I got you. And the only way, the piece I gleaned from that was that there will be a pretty decent market move somewhere between about 11 and noon, and that's all I look for. And then how I simplify it is with trend lines. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I'll put what's the most dominant trend line I can draw right around that time, and then I'll place a pending order out above it somewhere, so I don't have to be there. So that's the part of it that I gleaned from them.
mhm.
And our 1 minute entry kicked in
Yeah.
right here. It's got a newsy kind of move to it. I don't know if we have news coming up in 8 minutes.
News at 3 o'clock. It's not 3 o'clock yet. Oh, sorry, 10 o'clock your time. Sorry.
Okay, it's 3 in the afternoon for you, Tony.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Um, but again, you see, it's relatively simple. What does he call this? That guy on whatever
Oh,
that was you said.
Frank Paul. Over the last 3 years, or 4 years, gosh, yeah, 4 years now, or even longer, he's changed it up. Right now, it's called the something trend trade, blah blah blah. So, but I mean, it is, and every time he upgrades and puts a different name on it, he's got a new super duper oscillator to go with it.
Oh,
Uh,
another package to sell, isn't he?
Oh, okay.
well, of course.
But does he use fractals and all that? Or he uses something similar, or
Well, I mean, yeah, they are there, but I mean, it's basically the same thing you're showing here, except the oscillator, should be in agreement, and you first find it on the daily, and then the 4 hour, and then you and
that's
then
more like Elder using the oscillators, though.
yeah. I mean, he's keeping that in the mix. It's been in all of the iterations of it. So, I mean, I still get his emails and stuff, and he'll have a little video each Friday or Saturday. He'll come out with like a 20, 25-minute video. And he's extremely verbose. He's extremely intelligent because he uses a lot of words I keep my dictionary handy with.
Oh, it's not Carl Dittman then.
No,
No,
not at all. Not Uncle Carl.
and not Uncle Lou either. All right, sorry, I'm taking up too much time here. Go ahead.
Lou, somebody told me a stat the other day. I haven't verified it, so I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But apparently, between 2 and 5 a.m. Eastern Time, the majority of the time, between those times, either the high or the low is formed during that time.
Oh, now I've heard that from a couple of people. The guy that really, really tried to push that was a guy named Steve Morrow.
Oh,
No.
I've heard of him, yeah.
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 Oh, and I've got all of his stuff also. And boy, well, now I got to be careful about this.
I'm gonna dime you, dude. So watch out.
Just use the word allegedly, Lou, and then you're okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he allegedly claimed that he was taught this by one of the three major bank traders in the world, and that major bank trader died, and he had signed a thing not to tell anybody,
Yeah.
the secrets. But for $5,000,
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear.
oh, he was funny. But for $5,000, he would oh, share it with you, which I thought was funny. He would
So
never, yeah, he
I was
would
living in
never
Las Vegas.
ever trade it live. And we have another setup here on the M1 right
That
there.
was a good trade. That first
it
trade was a
was.
good trade there.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the stops go out to the last fractal high.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that, and you shoot for 1 to
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
Um,
Which perhaps on a 1 minute chart probably isn't enough, is it? Perhaps
yeah,
sometimes.
with the spread and everything else, unless you hold it
Yeah.
through 3 or 4 fractals.
Yeah.
But then there's another way you can kind of counter that by going out to a
Previous swing high or well no.
yeah,
It's the
exactly.
same thing. Yeah.
So he would never trade it live in front of anybody. I went to one of his seminars, his sales pitch is what it was. And he had this big, thick book. I show you all my trades. So he passed the book around, and people say, wow, he shows all the trades. But nobody would actually read it, which was interesting. And so when the book got to me, I started to flip through it. And what it would be one afternoon, someone had a good trade with 3 entries. And then the next page would be 11 days later, a different person had 1 good trade. And then the next page would be some guy had a good week. And then the next page would be, and that's all it was. There were never any losses recorded in the book. You know what I mean? He only showed trades that happened to win.
Yeah.
And he would never trade live in front of anybody. Never had a 6-month track record. All right, and then had the nerve. Well, and then allegedly would charge you. I think it was upwards of $200 a month to be in his private trading room on top of the $5,000. So me being me, I'm saying, gee, if you're selling these things for $5,000, I mean, you only have to sell, what was it, 200 of them to make $100,000, or I forget what the number was. When you multiply it out, he wouldn't have to sell very many of them to make $1 million. I think it was 250 at $5,000. I think if you get 250 customers and give you $5,000, you made $1 million. I said, why would you trade? I see why you don't trade in front of anybody, and it just turned into a whole thing.
Well, I met him myself in Las Vegas about 7 years ago or so. A friend of mine in Las Vegas introduced me to trading 10 years ago. He was running a Forex it was like a meetup, but that was before meetup. So there was a club, Forex club.
Right.
And he took over when the guy that originally had that Forex club absconded with a lot of people's money. But
But was that Ken?
no,
Jar?
his name is Ray. My friend that ran the Forex club, but I mean, he's still a friend and he's a good guy. Although he did train, he was one of Steve Morrow's trainers for a while because he got really wrapped up in it and doing it. And oh my God, he rented an apartment for his office that he had computers set up in and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but when he had Steve Morrow come for the presentation there, he also brought Zen with him.
Zen, yes, Zen Aldridge, I think his name is.
Yeah, and Zen's wife, and Steve, he was fairly charismatic. I thought he was pretty much okay, but Zen and his wife, oh my God, allegedly I did not care for him.
Right, right. Yeah, I know Zen. He was up at my office at 42nd Street a couple of times, trying to get me to trying to introduce me to the benefits of the Morrow method and all that. And I've got all the videos, all the indicators, all the stuff and all that, and nobody that I know of has been able to consistently make money. They'll have one night when it works, and then 4 nights when it doesn't.
42nd Street, the good old days.
Yes, that's Andre.
Remember 42nd Street, Lou? The good old days. The good old days, huh?
Yeah, was that a beautiful office or what? He had a magnificent.
It was the best office I've ever seen. The best office I've ever seen for trading.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was all about appearance and presentation, you win.
Oh yeah.
You can't beat a New York skyline while you're trying to make money in New York. You just can't beat it.
No, no. It had all the panache and all that. But again, and the guy that owned it, I won't call his name. I think he's a very, very decent guy. But I couldn't understand why open a trading firm with a $15,000 a month nut and not be able to pay your rent by trading. I could not ever get my head around that. And he was doing an OTA deal. He was charging, 5,000, you know, and I'd get a portion of that, and that kind of irked me because I thought it was kind of high. But it was his place. What could I do? I just love teaching. So I said, look, just let me teach you guys work out the numbers. I don't want any part of that. But then I could tell he never sat in on a class to see if I was like feeding these people a line of shit for their $5,000. Never sat in on a single class ever the entire time I was there. Then 3 times I said, give me a little piece of money. Let's let the company trade and, make some money and, cover our nut. Let me show you what I can do. 3 times he turned his back on me. And I don't know if it was because I was the wrong height, the wrong color, the wrong weight. And all 3 times he gave money to someone else, and all 3 times they lost every penny. So who knows? And I got real intimidated by the second guy. He brought a guy in again. I won't mention the name, but what he was doing, which I thought was odd, he was basically stealing stuff from a website called E-Mini Addict, and he was trying to pass it off as his. Okay, which is okay. People. I mean, I use other people's stuff, but I try to give credit if I can remember who it was. So, and I'm blue collar. Construction worker, I don't have the greatest vocabulary in the world, but I'm basically well spoken. And this guy comes in with the plaid shirt unbuttoned to the 3rd button with the glasses hanging in it. He's got the penny loafers with no socks, got an Ivy League education, and he could speak the language of trading. I mean, to hear him talk about we have a major institutional interest at this particular level, and now this is where the algorithm should kick in here at the psychological level, and to hear him rattle it off, it intimidated me because I thought I was a pretty good trader, but I said, damn, this is like the real guy, But he couldn't make a fucking penny. He couldn't make a dime, and we're sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, but Lou, they don't have to make money. I mean, I went to a presentation like this in London once, and there was this guy, pure marketeer, with his hand-picked charts where he knew every candle coming because he'd done it so many times before. And there he was. There we are, guys. We've just made $960 trading one standard lot. Hands up those who'd like to make $960 in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Puts their hands up. Hands up those who think it's better to earn $960 in 10 minutes than do what you do for your job in 8 hours. Everybody puts their hands up. Hands up those who'd like to have a villa in Spain with their own yacht in the marina. They were falling over themselves to hand over their money. It was unbelievable.
Hands up, you're being robbed.
But these people were falling over themselves to hand over money. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah. But and I've seen very, very similar presentations, but that's why I do what I do. I trade live in front of everybody. I don't hide anything. I don't charge anybody anything because luckily I can make my own money. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't like to see people get robbed, number one, and I knew what it was like to have a family to feed and not know where the next dollar was coming from. I knew that feeling as real as I know, the seat I'm sitting on right now. And my goal was to help people like that. So that's why I'm very, very different. And that's why a lot of people, why are you doing this for free? You should monetize it and all this other nonsense. And then I got to get into a whole other avenue of shit that doesn't make me money. I got to spend 3 hours at a computer setting up PayPals and all this other stuff and order responders and shit. I can make money in that 3 hours.
Yeah, and then all the complaints too.
Yeah.
God damn it, I did what you said and I lost.
Yeah. Oh God, when I was managing money, I was managing a $2.5 million account with someone. I might have mentioned this before. But there were several traders trading the account. And the account was just an absolute mess. And one guy had like this mega grid thing he was doing, but he was just making money on he was the IB. So I knew what he was up to. He was using the grid just to generate orders because he got a piece of every order. And as long as the orders basically closed at zero at the end of the day, he didn't give a shit about whether the account made money or not.
Yeah.
But make a long story short, every time I would place a trade, and I would trade anywhere from 5 to 10 standard lots. It was a $2.5 million account. I wanted to start small on that account and just show the guy. So in the comments section, when you place a trade, I would put my email. And so if anything went wrong, if there was ever any question, the owner of that account could contact me directly, and I could explain why did you go short on pound dollar at this point or whatever. So the guy that was the manager of the account had a purple fucking fit. Oh, why'd you put the email there? What is this Lou Star One? What are you doing? And all that. Oh boy, he went on and on and on and on and on. And then as the conversation kept going on, I kept explaining, well, I'm accountable. I don't hide. You know what I mean? He says, no, but then the guy, he's going to want 3 months of your track record, and he's going to want this and that. I said, well, I got all that. And then he gave me another excuse. So it ended up being, I found out through a third party, was that if my trades ended up making money on a consistent basis and my email is there, he was afraid that the principals in the account would contact me directly and give me an account to trade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the other time I was managing some money, so I walked away from that. I like the prestige of trading, a couple $1 million, but I didn't need the headache. Then another time I'm managing money for a group of people. And this was back before the Dodd-Frank, so you get 20 people, each put up a few thousand, and it was another sizable account. And then one of the guys that was in this group had a little bit more money in it than everybody else, and it was a decent 5-figure amount. I won't lie, but I'll take a trade and win, lose, or draw. I take the trade, and I'll get a call. And I'll give you an example. I went short, let's say on pound yen. I went short on 2 pound pairs, as a matter of fact, because I remember this now. I went short on 2 pound pairs. Both trades won. Then the guy calls me up and is like, hey, why'd you get out of the trade? It went another 100 pips. Why'd you leave the money on the table? I'm telling you, this is no joke. Then I explained, well, there's no way you could guarantee that it was going to go that 100 pips, and it went to a level that I felt that it was going to stall out. I showed him the chart. Sure enough, it went right to that prior support and resistance, made some piano keys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, and I said I thought that was a good place to get out of the trade, because in case it pulled back, I didn't want to give the money back. And he's like, well, it's better if you stay in there and try to get as much as you can out of the trade. Okay. Then another time I'm looking at the charts and he calls me up and he says, there was a nice head and shoulders on the 4-hour euro yen. Why didn't you take it? And well, what the fuck? I'm not looking at the 4-hour euro yen. I'm doing my thing. I'm looking for pairs that I want to trade my way. And then I get another call and it'd be like, what about that trend line break on the New Zealand yen? And I'm like, oh, God, you know what, guy? Trade your own money. Trade your own money. Because he's just going to call me out of the blue. Yeah, and here's the sad part about it. Nobody lost money. Everybody made money on that account. And I just decided because of him, nope, I don't need a headache. You guys, this is why I'm not trading this account anymore. Because the guy's a pain in the ass. And walked away from it. So, you learn things as life goes on. That's why I stopped managing, or I stopped accepting offers to manage money, is what I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the guy is such an expert, you just trade your own money. The one other thing with this too, by the way, is when you get underneath your moving average, you can always take a native fractal break if you want. And let me just look. It's probably a couple on the 1 minute. Yeah, like you see, we're below the moving average here. Oh shit, let me open it up. So you could take all these native fractal breaks, but I prefer doing it on a higher time frame. like this fractal break, I would take this one regardless of what's going on the other two. If I've got a strong slope, look at the slope on that moving average on that 18.
Mm.
That's about 430, I'd say. That's a nice powerful slope. So then, yeah, I would grab this just on the native 15-minute chart. But the basic system is just doing this. You have the three, and when the three line up, then you jump on board. And I wanted to do two other candle patterns, but it's 10 o'clock. My air conditioner guy is coming today to fix my air conditioner. Ron, how are you coming along with the headset? Why do I talk louder when I talk to him? It's not like he's deaf or anything. I don't know what that is in my mind. I guess because he doesn't have a headset, I have to talk louder.
Yeah, I think Ron, I think you're gonna have to start sending apples to Lou there. Well, you bring the teacher an apple kind of deal.
Yeah, just bring a headset. It's still sold out in Germany. I can mail you one. Okay, so any questions on anything we covered here today? We got a little bit sidetracked today, but it was actually all good. And I'll get back to candle formations tomorrow because I got a couple others that I want to talk about. That I didn't talk about these inverted hammers. All right, and how they play in. Okay, I'll talk about it tomorrow because once I start, I won't stop. Any questions or thoughts?
Yeah, I have a question, Lou.
Yeah.
Are we going to go back to remember, I think a week ago, we were talking about that what was that, 50 pip plan? And I think we kind of got like sidetracked off of that. So we're going to do that for...
Well, I do want to go back to that. And what I want to do is do the combination that I normally do in my usual trading where I have I always have a long-term trade going and I'm scalping on the short term. Ron is asking pretty much the same thing. But because of the Dodd-Frank rule, I can't I can't do that the same way on the same pair. So what I do now is I kind of handpick the certain pairs that will be my long-term trades, and I know I can't take any other trades on those pairs. You got me? So let's say pound yen and euro Aussie are my long-term. Then that tells me that on the 5 and 15-minute charts, I can't take any trades on either one of those pairs. So I have to kind of pick my pairs carefully so I don't cross myself up. Because the FIFO
And why is that? What does that have to do with Dodd-Frank?
Well, the FIFO rule, first in, first out.
First in, first out?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. You see here we close below this moving average, right? So I may say, okay, I'm going to hold this until I get to like my next support and resistance level. And down here, let's see, I would say this little spot right here, which is, happens to be right where we are now. You see that little bit of congestion? So I'll show you an example. All right, so this is where my entry is. To say, okay, I'm going to ride this on a long-term basis down to here, okay? But in the meantime, while that one trade is going, I will take all the pullbacks on the way down. You see that? While this is meandering down, I will grab all the short-term pullbacks. Okay, so I'll make 8, 10 pips here, 8, 10 pips here, 8, 10 pips here. In the meantime, this will go all the way down here on that one trade, the 20 or 30 pips or whatever it is. Okay, let's say 40. I know it says 49, but take the spread off, blah, blah, blah. All right. So in this 40 pip run, I could easily end up with up to 125, 150 pips. But I've already got my long-term direction, so now I'm just going to grab the pullbacks on the way down. Unfortunately, the way Dodd-Frank has things structured is if I take this entry short, all right, and price moves down, and then I want to take this entry, what's going to happen is it's going to close this trade. This original short trade has to close because the first trade in is the first trade you get out of. Did you follow that?
Okay, wait. Are you sure you got that right?
Yeah, that's FIFO.
Just use that.
Yes, you mean with five?
Right, but can't you, one, have a second account, and that second account
Well, that's a whole other mess. So
in
I'd rather
FIFO, I
just
thought only applied to institutional traders.
no. It
Oh, everybody.
applies to everybody. Applies to everybody. In fact,
For example,
I don't want to mess this up.
call
You're breaking up, Andre.
so like
You got that
can you hear me?
no, you got that cancer voice. No harm meant to anyone.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So half the call is in the outside of U.S. It doesn't apply to them. They don't, right? So that's and you're talking about currencies, which is a different market. You're not talking about
Right.
securities, which Dodd-Frank resides. So I don't believe Dodd-Frank covers currencies, and it definitely doesn't cover our partners there in the UK and
Well,
abroad.
Oh, it
Yeah,
does
we
cover
don't
currency.
we don't have FIFO here in most of them.
But yeah, so you can do what I was just saying.
Right. It does not, for sure.
No, outside the United States.
Right. But in addition to that, because you're dealing with the currencies, which is a decentralized money, I do not believe it applies to currencies. I do believe, however, it applies to equities, securities, potentially futures, U.S. futures, that type of thing. But I don't think it applies for currencies. I have to go and verify it. Yeah, it's because obviously the U.S. government doesn't.
I'm going to take a couple of trades later and just make sure, because I know not long after November 2010, I couldn't do it anymore. That's why I just stopped. I didn't even waste my time trying to sort it out.
Right. And a different broker may have a certain rule, but it's not governed over Dodd-Frank in that capacity when it comes to. Because I've had it on my equity accounts where I'll go into an equity position, and my first trades have been automatically removed. That's
FIFO.
definitely under equities. Right. But under Forex, I'm sorry.
I believe under U.S.
It's a different
Forex
governing
brokers.
body.
I believe under U.S. Forex brokers it does exist. I just stopped doing it. But you know what? I'll take a couple of trades on a U.S. broker on a demo account. I'll switch over from this FXCM Live to an FXCM demo and just see if that applies. Or I could just call them.
Right.
Hang on a second.
Are you guys in US allowed to have accounts with, say, Pepperstone in
Nope.
Australia?
Nope. There's a
I was
whole
gonna
bunch
say,
of
'cause with
places we can't
Pepperstone,
have
Pepperstone,
accounts.
you can do everything.
Yes, I know.
No
Why?
restrictions at all.
Why can't we do that, Lou? I never heard about that. I thought.
Oh,
we
well,
can't
the government made arrangements, i.e. threats to many of the foreign entities that they are not allowed to advertise in the U.S. for U.S. clients for Forex trading. They're not allowed to post their websites, or they're not allowed to create a presence in the U.S. That's why you never get pop-up
Right.
ads for, or you usually don't get pop-up ads for a lot of the foreign brokers. And many of the brokers, if you double-click on them, it'll read your IP address, and it'll say, if you're a U.S. citizen, you have to leave now. You got me? You're not allowed to trade here. In fact, let me do this with one, just so you can see what I mean. Let me close this, and then I'm going to call the broker. I'm going to end up running late. This air conditioner guy is going to have to wait. Let me just do this. Forex calculator. Okay, let me slide this over. I meant to show you this kind of cool calculator that InstaForex has. I typed out some of the data here just so I could, because I can get up to 1,000 to 1 with this broker if I wanted it. But this is how they break down, and I needed this for tying up the what do you call it, the trade copy and all that. So on this particular broker, on the account that I have, for me to trade one standard lot, I have to put in 10. And I think the other day I was explaining with the swaps and all that, and how my account, how our demo account in the room, it goes 0.1, but it's multiplied by 10, and I can't really switch it, so I had to be kind of careful in some of the trades. But I think I've got a workaround for that. But let me just show you this. Watch. I'm going to go to this web page. Well, I thought I was going to this web page. And, oh, you know, shoot. Okay. Who can I make the presenter here to do this? Because, copy. I'm going to paste this in the room down here and paste. And can, Phil,
Yeah.
could you click that link and see if it'll take you to the broker, but see if you get that pop-up that says American clients are not allowed to view this page or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like, dear visitor, your IP is indicated U.S. IP address.
Right. Now, let me make you the presenter so we can see your screen. Is that okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, this way I can show everybody what we're faced with here. Make presenter, and you should get a request.
Okay.
And we're waiting for Phil. Yeah, we're waiting for it to switch over.
All right. Do you guys see anything now?
And anyway,
Just so you know that can easily be overridden.
Well, no, but you see the message here. Your IP indicates as U.S. IP address, and then it goes on to say that if you're a U.S. citizen, they don't want you're not allowed to view this site, basically. And I clicked I'm not a U.S. resident, and so every time I go in there now, it lets me right in. You got me? So that's the type of thing that we're
As far as the international body is concerned, the rule is, or the request is saying, hey, we would prefer you not having, these particular investors from this particular area trading.
But however, once you just said, sure, I'm not, then they say, okay, cool, we've done our due diligence, everything is good, continue on.
Yeah, but you can't open an account. You got me?
Yeah, like I said, it's easy to get around that from a programming standpoint. But I can talk to you offline if that was something that you wanted to do.
All right. That's something I hadn't thought about, but I just want you to see that that's the kind of thing that we're faced with in the U.S. Now, before I go, I want to log in live chat. There's no phone number here. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll call FXCM and I'll pipe the conversation into our room, and then we'll ask them about the FIFO rule on currency, so we get it straight once and for all. All right. But once I knew that was the issue, I just stopped. I didn't even bother because I wasn't doing a lot of demo accounts. It was all live stuff, and I didn't want to lose any money, because of that rule. So I said, you know what, just let me not do it. Not try to, buck the trend and all that. So, all right. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and we'll get back on track here.
Yeah, thanks, Luke.
All right. Be well, everybody.
Bye-bye.